Now, I know we just worked on this trailer recently and put new axle, new rims, and everything on it. But, well, I did what I could with the bike, and it's working great right now. Figure I gotta do something. Aside from that, I ain't got any sewing work going on right now. May as well update this a little bit more. Okay, give me a minute to set up tripod, and I'll show you what I'm about to do. Now, as some of you may or may not know, give me a second to get this thing straight. Getting a good angle on this situation is not the easiest thing in the world to do. This cheap ass fucking tripod. There we are. Now we can see it. Now, some of you may know, and some of you may not, there are various places in the world that do not have the same 4 seasons as most places, especially here in Canada. As an example, Winnipeg has 3 seasons: winter, construction, and mosquitoes. Here in BC, we have, well, winter isn't really a season, it's 2 weeks. But we have rain, drought, and rain. And then 2 weeks of snow. But the amount of rain we have, this being a boreal rainforest, or having had been before we cut all trees down and started building shitty houses that can't keep water out, as useful as it is for me to have this net over top of my trailer to keep things from flying out, tie stuff down, not really good in the rain. It ain't keeping things dry, which has left me needing to use big Rubbermaid bin in the trailer to carry stuff when it's raining. It's not very effective. Well, it's effective, but it lowers my capacity of volume by a reasonable margin, and I don't like that. So I thought to myself, well, why don't I replace that net with a waterproof fabric? Got this piece of waterproof fabric. This piece here. Figured, might actually fit. It wouldn't cover completely, but would do a reasonable job. Be able to tie everything down. Find a way to attach it, and attach it. It actually does give reasonable coverage. I just, strap it around that bar, clip it to the other end, and it keeps stuff mostly dry. Basically what I want. So I was talking about this with another fella, and he said, well, if you're going to put something that's going to strap on one end and hinge in place, why not just, use a piece of sheet metal? And my brain kicked me. It's like, you got a big piece of sheet metal sitting in the house. Why don't you do that? Honestly, I hadn't thought of it. I'm so used to working in fabrics. But, again, I'm very happy I ripped apart that barbecue that I got all the metal off of for the battery packs on the bike. Look at that. That'd keep most of it covered and dry. I just have to find a way to attach it at either end, or just a way to sit it in place on either end. I might even be able to hinge it. So that's my plan. I do have these 2-piece brackets here, which are made for an angled area, but These come apart like that. They're made for an angled area, but I could use them like so to hinge on that pipe. At least I believe so. Big enough to sit around, not directly interact. They can be bolted through another object that would perhaps square tubes. Yeah, these square tubes. Be bolted through that and then mounted to the plate. And look, they actually fit. So that plan has become reasonably usable. So first step's going to be taking that nut off. Then we're going to build us a lid. Taking the nut off is easy. On this end, it's only connected by bungees. And I'm still sure I'm going to have more use for the net at some point. But right now, I just need to take it out. These multiple genius knots I used to put it on. We're not done with the expectation that I'd have to take it off again. So they might take me a minute. You get to watch me struggle with a piece of string. Oh look, there's more than one piece of string. That bodes well. Okay, that's going to take a while. Took longer than necessary, and I didn't know I owned that much shoelace. But it will all go towards dice bags, probably the drawstrings for them. Anyway, I measured out these square tubes. I marked them where they're going to be cut. Right there. What that'll do is it'll mount there and run the length to the back. It'll be bolted onto that piece of sheet metal, and they'll hinge. They'll hinge with those little plastic brackets, so I can just lift it up like that. It'll be fine. Everything will be fine. It'll work great. Won't be 100% waterproof, but it'll keep most of the rain off the top of whatever I've got in the box, which is incredibly useful to me. And when I don't want to use them, I can take that off and use the net if I'm carrying like a load of scrap metal or something. But in the instance that I'm going to be doing, hauling groceries or a load of fabric or something I need to keep dry, I have that option. So I'll have to move the table to get to the vise to use the hacksaw to cut these. I'm cutting 2 of them. And I'll show you once that's all cut up. Every time I come across one of these projects, I'm just more and more glad that I scrapped out that what's it called? Barbecue. That metal is just so useful. Okay, I'll let you know once those are cut and show you what the next step is. Let those 2 cut. We're going to sit roughly. They'll stand a little bit proud of the existing frame, which is fine. That's them. Now we got to drill holes on hinges. So I'll measure where those are going to be. I'll drill those holes and I'll find bolts to put through them. These pieces made, drilled in. They sit loose because I'm not bolting them tight yet. They're going to sit. So let's get this one off. Here's one back piece off of here. So it can sit like that. And they'll be bolted in place. Just get it loose. You can sit roughly like that. And the plate will be bolted down on top of them. So I'll measure out the spacing and put that plate down and see what it looks like. Well, bolt this one up loose too, just so I know roughly where the plate's going to sit. Roughly 3 fingers from there, roughly 3 fingers from there, and there. Rough the same distance on either direction. This plate will sit. About like that. Keep these up off of the back into the frame. If any water does go down in there, it'll drain out the bottom corners. That's no problem. And this will keep the majority of it covered. If I want it more covered, I have means by which to do that. Just a little sheet of vinyl. So now I'm gonna mark some spaces and what goes where. I'm gonna drill some more holes. 4 more. I'm gonna start putting it together. Sound like fun? Didn't think so. Okay.
What? You okay?
Sorry about my interruption there. My more recent to BC roommate just came in to inform me about an earthquake that I hadn't even noticed happened, and she's currently on the phone with one of her friends who also hadn't noticed it happened. And anyway, mark these across here as to where that sits. So that's where the edge of the metal is going to come up to. We'll mark on the metal there and there. Where the square bars actually go. On the other end, we'll measure from the side in as to where they go, and then mark it. We'll straight edge it with a knife, just mark a scribe line, and we'll know where to drill. Okay, I'll get that happening. After I get those holes drilled through and the bolts put in, we'll put it together and show you what it looks like. There's a small things that I'm thankful for in my life is that I have kept multiple old tools around when some people would have thought I don't need them no more. You're not doing construction no more where you got drywall tools and carpentry tools and stuff around for. You're not working in the shop no more. Why do you need machining tools around? Oh, mainly because that's not the only thing you use them for. To be honest, I'll probably use these clamps more these particular really wide C-clamps. I've probably used them more since not being in a mechanical shop than I did when I was in a mechanical shop. So I can clamp these together along those lines. Just drill the holes where I need them to be. Okay. That will go better here. It would go better in the other direction, upside down, I mean. But can't exactly put it there right now. I want to drill that hole here. I don't want this to get in the way, so just turn it out of the way. Yeah, you can see that a little better. I got to drill the hole here, or I want to drill the hole here. So it'd be better if this whole clamp was upside down, but for the moment at least, I can just put it here out of the way. The other one I got to drill from the other side so this clamp is in the right spot. The reason I got to drill them from the other side is there's already holes there, so I can just drill through one of those. That one. So I'll do that. Drill that first hole. Get the other one lined up. Drill both the holes in it. And we'll put it together. See what it looks like before I put it in place. Okay, so we got all the pieces put together. You find a different angle to stand on so you can see what's going on while I attach it. I think you can mostly see it there. Yeah, there you are. Just so you can see what's going on. I'm going to have to move this over here as far as I can. So I've got something to lean on while I put this, oh for fuck's sakes, I'll put these hinges in place. Yeah. There. Hey, you can still see it. So that one goes on there. washer and a nut. This one goes on here. Washer and a nut. Tighten those down. Before I do that, since they're just sitting loose, let's dry fit it. How's that look? I said I put a little bit of that clear vinyl across the front if I want to cover it more. I'll mostly keep the rain off. Opens and closes easily. Fits really well. Almost looks fucking professional. Except, you know, I know what professional and amateur both mean, which kind of changes calling something professional. Amateur means based on ama, love, means you enjoy what you're doing. So, being an amateur doesn't make you unprofessional. Professional means it is a profession. You get paid for it. So if you're getting paid for something as an amateur, you're also a professional. You can be both at the same time, you can be neither. Don't matter. But anyway, I'll tighten those down. I think that's enough for today. You know, I might add things to it. I might put a little bit of this bar along the edge. Just raise it up a touch. I might, well, put something there for it to rest on. Maybe that'd be useful. Just strike across right between these two. Use it as a handle, so also it'll sit nicely on it. Might do any number of things, but for the moment, there's enough trailer upgrade for today. Talk to you next time. Yeah, I got bored. About half an hour later. Put a handle on it. It does help stabilize it a lot more. Looks nicer on the back end. Raises it up, levels everything a bit. Looks good. Opens and closes easy. Should really wipe the metal filings off of there from the drill bit, but I'm lazy. There we are. Updated, upgraded, and I think tomorrow I'll start on the waterproofing it. Take that fabric I got, maybe strap that down in here underneath so that, well, let's see. Rough plan for tomorrow. We take this, strap these up here so it hangs down over this edge. You lay that in over top, then you close the lid, and it'll provide more waterproofing and more cover. I don't know. A lot of different ideas, but that's the plan for tomorrow.